My name is Caitlin Chesson, and today we're going to be talking about signs and symptoms of drug and alcohol abuse in the workplace. So to get started, in DOT regulations, there are 5 drugs that they test for. These drugs include amphetamine, cocaine, marijuana, penicillin, and opiates. During drug screenings conducted, they use urine samples to conduct these tests. Some alternatives for these drug tests are saliva swabs or an electronic breath and alcohol test, an EBT. But you can find all this information in the DOT Rule 49 CFR Part 40 of the Code of Federal Regulations. So we're going to start with talking about some signs and symptoms of the drug amphetamine. Some physical indicators that can show abuse of this drug is weight loss and or an appetite decrease. Some behavioral indicators are aggression, paranoia or anxiety, mood swings, and some performance indicators are loss of muscle/muscle spasms or tics. If the employee cannot keep up with work or deadlines, this is another indicator. I couldn't find any speech indicators for this one, but those are some indicators for that. Next, we're going to talk about cocaine. Some physical indicators for cocaine is dilated pupils, nosebleeds, a white powdery residue around the nose or mouth, or if the employee has spoons, razor blades, or plastic bags somewhere, this can also be an indicator. Some speech indicators are mood swings and talkative habits, or an excessive amount of talking. Some behavioral indicators can be social isolation or risky behaviors. Also an increased want or need for privacy. Some performance indicators can be a boost in ego or confidence or overexcitability. These people tend to have a lot of energy, so they're usually pretty talkative and pretty antsy to do, task. Next, I'm going to talk about marijuana. Some physical indicators for marijuana can be bloodshot eyes, fatigue, or sleepy. Some speech indicators can be that they are very talkative or they have slow speech when they talk, as in slurred words. Some behavioral indicators can be lethargic or fatigue, increased craving for snacks. Some performance indicators can be a lack of coordination, confusion or lack of awareness. Some other ones can be misjudged time or an increased sense of secretiveness. The next one we're going to talk about is the penicillin or PCP. Some physical indicators for PCP can be blank stares or rapid eye movements. Some speech indicators can be stuttering or an inability to speak clearly. Behavioral can be anxiety or depression. And some performance indicators can be isolation, a foggy memory, or just can't seem to think clearly or form a cognitive and, flowing thought. The last drug tested for by DOT that we're going to talk about today is going to be opiates. Some physical indicators of opiates can be bloodshot eyes or glazed eyes, dilated pupils, extreme weight changes, and very fast weight changes at that. Insomnia or extreme fatigue. Some speech indicators can be that they snap really easily or get easily agitated or annoyed. They're mean to fellow coworkers. Some behavioral indicators can be increased aggression, change in a personality, or extreme depression. Some performance indicators can be lethargic, changes in habits or priorities. Lastly, we're going to talk about alcohol abuse and some signs and symptoms for that. So for physical indicators, it can be things such as nausea, vomiting, headaches. So speech indicators can be slurred speech or very loud, a lack of awareness of their volume. Behavior indicators can be depression, anxiety, or frequent conflicts with coworkers. And some performance indicators can be trouble concentrating on a task, memory loss, declined performance, or bad judgment of a situation. And by that, I just mean that, they might take the unsafe route of something because it makes it quicker or easier, and it was just like a lack of judgment on the best decision for that situation or outcome. Here I have some pictures of these different drugs. The top left is going to be a picture of marijuana. Your middle is going to be your opioids, and this includes things like codeine or heroin can be one. Your top right is going to be some amphetamine. One of these drugs can be meth. Your bottom left is going to be cocaine, and then your bottom right is going to be PCP or penicillin. And then here I just have a list of all the references that I used to gather all this information for this PowerPoint. A lot of this you can also find in the CFR Code of Regulations. They have some really good explanations and information for you to be able to fully understand this and get the required information.